Hey, this is Ross with my partner Bob. We have a show called Worldview Matters.
And Ross, as you know, we believe that everything in life is somehow related to how people view the world around them.
Our show is available on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. Also available on the web at bigbrainsmedia.com.
It's the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Tuesday, the 18th of December. Nice, quiet weather today and tomorrow, but two potential major storms to deal with in coming days. One will be Thursday, another one around Christmas, maybe the day after. So we'll get in there and take a look and see if we have any severe weather potential. First off, some of the Skycam shots around the network this morning, and got some fog problems. That's our Hamilton High School Skycam. They've dropped into the low and mid-30s up there, and temperature, it's the dew point, the ground is wet, the wind is light, and voila, that's what happens. That should burn off by mid-morning, but it's not foggy everywhere. There's the Birmingham Skycam, no evidence of any fog there. That's looking southeast from the top of the Daniel building, and down in Clanton and Chilton County, no fog showing up down there. Very dry air mass in place, really nice weather today. We'll be up around 60, but issues are brewing off to the west as energy is coming into California, and that'll be spinning up a big storm over the heartland in coming days. You can see Haleyville's dropped down to 33 this morning, and that's where you got that dense fog. Temperatures are closer to 40 around here. But again, a nice warm-up today. And around the nation, the weather not excessively cold. I'd say it's seasonal. But again, our friends over the Midwest could have a big blanket of snow on the ground by the end of the week with this system that's going to affect us on Thursday. And again, we note it is very cold over the eastern part of Alaska. Looks like the lowest on the board there is 47 below zero Fahrenheit. So again, something to watch, evidence that a big chunk of that might affect the continental United States the latter half of Christmas week in about 8 to 10 days from now. Hey, this thing's starting to light up like a Christmas tree. Look at all the winter storm watches and warnings. Winter storm warnings for a large chunk of the Utah mountains, Colorado, skiers' delight. If you headed out there to snow ski Christmas week, they will have a plenty. A blizzard watch for western Kansas, winter storm watches from Kansas up to Wisconsin, and wind issues for West Texas, a high wind watch out there. So a lot of things are happening, and of course in the warm sector we'll have to watch for severe weather. This is the day 2 convective outlook. The standard slight risk of severe weather for much of Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, and parts of western Tennessee, and those will likely develop tomorrow night and then moving in here Thursday morning, and this is the day 3 outlook for Thursday. Basically, the southern half of Alabama in a risk of severe weather. And again, it's the standard slight risk, and we'll have a squall line coming through here during those early morning hours Thursday. And it's the typical cool season deal where you got the low instability and the high shear, but those can be problematic, and we'll get into detail and drill through that here in just a minute. And this is the rain for the next 5 days, valid through Sunday morning at 6 o'clock, suggesting rain amounts of about 1/2 inch with our system coming in here on Thursday. All right, model fans, let's take a look. This is the 06Z GFS at noon today, troughing well to the east, and again down below that it should be just a gorgeous day today. Once the fog burns off, blue sky and sunshine, and a high right around 60. Tomorrow, still nice. Temperatures warm up, upper 60s, good supply of sunshine, but boy, look at the snowstorm for Denver and Colorado and the mountains of New Mexico with a deep surface low near Dalhart, Texas, 997 millibars. If you're flying to Denver, flyers, travelers, beware. Go to Wednesday night at midnight. Surface low is over central Missouri, a big snow there for parts of eastern Kansas, up around Omaha, Nebraska, Des Moines, Iowa. Could be a whopper. And then we'll go to Thursday, very deep trough. Will be affecting Alabama ahead of that, and down below that the surface low is east of Chicago, just south of Grand Rapids, Michigan, with the batch of storms basically starting to end at midday Thursday over West Alabama. So again, it looks like a 3 a.m. to noon type issue Thursday morning, and of course the good news with that means the instability values will be low, lower than they would be in the afternoon. This is a look at the projected instability at 9 o'clock Thursday morning, 15Z. And again, this is instability in the form of the lifted index, and where you see the greens, that's where the lifted index goes negative, and that's where the air is, there's some surface-based instability. And obviously not much. The really big numbers, you want to see them down there, below a -5, and you have to go down to the Gulf to find that. So that is the limiting factor, and that's typically what you see in, these cool weather type systems in late December and January and February sometimes. But we have learned it doesn't take a whole lot of surface-based instability to have a chance of severe weather. One of the things we note, this is the wind forecast at 850 millibars. This is 5,000 feet off the ground, the low-level jet, if you will. Those winds are howling. Got a max of 60 knots coming up through North Alabama, and it's probably not going to take a whole lot to transfer that down to the surface. So I think what we're going to have is a squall line with potential for strong, maybe damaging winds, despite that limited instability. This is the bulk shear from the surface to 850 millibars, and there's plenty of that for sure. That's a lot. In fact, those numbers peg out at, about 60 knots just north of here. So we'll have to watch for any little spin-up, tornado, some rotation within that line. Those are very hard to deal with. We all know that. We had one that came through, in the pre-dawn hours earlier this month in North Birmingham. Remember the EF1 with no warning, and that kind of thing might happen again with a setup like that. This is the energy helicity index, and obviously the numbers are not impressive. You want to see green, you want to see that value greater than 1 for a really significant severe weather threat, and you're not going to see that because, again, the instability is just so-so. But again, that's the projected sounding, and down there in the lower gauge you can see how the winds veer from the southeast at the surface around to the southwest. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. I think we'll probably have some warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, and just maybe a little spin-up tornado in there Thursday morning. So 3 a.m. until noon, an active weather day. All right, Friday, everything's gone. Hey, we turn sharply colder. I don't think we get out of the 40s, because keep in mind that air is going to be coming over a snowpack. So I figure the high will be about 49, but the sun should be out in full force. We start the day, by the way, in the upper 20s. It's going to be a cold day. Saturday morning, same thing. We'll start the day in the 20s, 25 to 29. And the day should be sunny and a high close to 55. And those numbers are below average for December here. And then Sunday, we'll stay dry. And again, Sunday morning, I think, will be below freezing. The high Sunday afternoon should be in the middle 50s, and there's Christmas Eve, Monday, December 24th. Moisture starts to come back and potential for a few showers to break out during the day. High should be in the 50s. Christmas Day, do we dare look? Snow for Christmas? Forget about it. Not here. As a matter of fact, we got problems in that a major storm is beginning to form. Now, I'll show you the European here in just a minute. Let's first off look at the GFS depiction. This is Tuesday at noon, Christmas Day, 12 noon. A warm front kind of setting up roughly along Interstate 20, and north of that front it looks wet, especially for northwest Alabama. So we're going to mention a pretty good chance of rain. It's going to be very breezy, and north of the warm front, temperatures will be in the 50s, maybe even 40s, but south of the warm front, it's going to be considerably warmer down there near the Gulf Coast. And that warm front should be lifting north during the day, and trying to resolve the position of a warm front a week in advance, you just can't do that. And then the next day, this is December 26th, that is very problematic. A very deep negative tilt trough impacting the region, a 986 millibar surface low near Joplin, Missouri, with a whopper of a thunderstorm outbreak just west of here, and that would ultimately impact Alabama. And then that night, the storms come in here. So the GFS is suggesting if we have severe weather, the main issue would be the day after Christmas. And again, needless to say, if this is right, an incredible snowstorm for the nation's heartland again. They will be buried. This would be a blizzard for Des Moines up toward Minneapolis if this is right. Now let's look at the European solution. It's faster. This is Christmas Day at 6 p.m. local time, and that would suggest potential for severe weather Christmas Day or Christmas night. A 996 millibar low at Little Rock with a big batch of storms in here. And, of course, the question is, can the warm front get north of here for severe weather? And it could very well do that, especially for the southern two-thirds of the state. So the European is faster, suggesting a severe weather threat Christmas evening or Christmas night. The GFS is suggesting the day after Christmas, but both models are showing potential for strong to severe storms over at least the southern two-thirds of the state and heavy rain for everybody. And we'll fine-tune that as we get closer. And then note on the 27th, look at the European. The 540 line way down in the Gulf, it turns really cold. I mean, that is a big old dump of cold air coming down here from Alaska. That would be the coldest air so far this season, if that's right. There's another look at that. That's the 850 millibar temperatures, and the zero line is way down there in the Gulf. And if that's right, we'll have a hard time getting above freezing during the day on December 27th. So evidence is mounting that for Christmas, or maybe the day after Christmas, a stormy period, maybe severe weather, and then much, much colder, maybe the coldest of the season after that. We'll check the end of the forecast, January 2nd, 2013. We've got trough over the east, and it's cold. That's just cold and dry, if that happens to be correct. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video this morning. We'll have notes in the blog. Next video here by 4 o'clock today. And don't forget to watch ABC 3340 News if you can on the live stream or the television side this evening at 4, 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.
I'm Steve Sample with Bama Talk. Don't miss a single episode of Bama Talk Show, available now on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app, and on the web at bigbrainsmedia.com.